Stacey Abrams has no experience at the national level to become a competent vice president. As a result, Stacey Abrams, she was absolutely screwed out of the gubernatorial election because the the state secretary at that time, the secretary overseeing the election was the guy running for governor. As Georgia's Secretary of State, Kemp oversaw the election in which he was competing. So he was overseeing the election. He had complete control over it. He helped rig the election. The gubernatorial election was completely rigged against Stacey Abrams because the Secretary of State was running for governor. Conflict of interest, anybody? So she got absolutely screwed over. But she is going to get something in return for being ripped off. She is going to get a cabinet position in Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren's White House. Stacey Abrams will not be vice president. She is going to be the next Secretary of the Treasury. Gematria, the practice of coding letters and words into numbers. Tax attorney has gematria of 46. This is why Stacey Abrams is running to be a vice president running mate for this election. She was born over at Madison, Wisconsin. The Democratic National Convention was originally scheduled to be held over at Madison, Wisconsin. She's 46 years of age. The signs are pretty clear that she's going to be in the next administration. It's Stacey Abrams as gematria of under 27. That's the same gematria as Treasury. Stacey Abrams was she was an attorney. She was a tax attorney. Attorney has gematria of 37. Doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be the Attorney General. That's going to go over to Kamala Harris. Stacey Abrams, her background, she went to law school. She worked as a tax attorney at the Sutherland, Asbill, and Brennan law firm in Atlanta with a focus on tax-exempt organizations, healthcare, and public finance. In 2010, while a member of the Georgia General Assembly, she served as a senior vice president of Now Corp, a financial services firm. So she is involved in the finance industry, and this background is going to be why she is a viable candidate for Secretary of the Treasury. It's Treasury Secretary Stacey Abrams that has gematria of 116. The blue wave of 2020 is coming. The crash is coming. No wall, no repeal and replace, no infrastructure, tax breaks for the wealthy, a complete disaster. Elect a circus, elect a reality TV star, you get one. Stacey Yvonne Abrams has gematria of 44, blue wave of 2020. She's born at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's under 25 and 44, the same gematria as Treasurer. Treasurer has gematria of under 45 and 44. The Secretary of the Treasury is not the actual Treasurer, but they receive advice from the Treasurer in regards to the Secretary of the Treasury. And how many Treasury Secretaries have there been? For starters, let's go to December the 9th, her birthday of 2020. That's 41. 2021's 41 year, ideal year to be inaugurated. The time span from the election day, November the 3rd of 2020 to December the 9th of 2020. 37 days. 37 days from the election day to her birthday. This has to do with, once again, the gematria of attorney, of Treasury, Stacey Abrams. She's going to be in the next administration. And then the last thing you'd have to do is December the 9th of 2020 to Inauguration Day of 2021, the day that the next cabinet of the United States gets sworn in. Time span 43 days and then 42 if you don't include the end date. And 42 just has to deal with the fact that it's the Freemasons that control the government at the top level, the national government, the federal government of the United States. Deputy city attorney for the city of Atlanta. This this finance background is going to be why she's the attorney, why she is the ideal candidate for Secretary of the Treasury. I suppose better than having a Goldman Sachs or a Citigroup person in there. I suppose she'd be a better person and less corrupt than Timothy Geithner and the Steve Mnuchin, all Goldman Sachs people. And so she is going to get a cabinet position. It seems like she's going to be the Secretary of the Treasury with their financial background. Financial estimation 42 days from her birthday to inauguration day. She worked at financial services firm. Financial services. Which firm did she found during her career? Formerly Now Account Network Corporation. A legal consulting firm. A variety of consulting and being a tax attorney. Now Account as Dimacho 29. She's born on December the 9th, 12-9. So looking really likely that she's going to be the Treasury Secretary. It seems it's coded for her to be so. Unless if there's an ambassador role, then I suppose that's possible too. Okay. So many cabinet positions to discuss, but it seems like we got a Treasury Secretary here in the works. And then the last thing here is a list of Treasury Secretaries. "29 Democratic Secretaries of the Treasury. And I want you to notice that going back to Stacey Abrams, she began her career 29 years of age. At age 29, her political career began. 29 prior attorney generals. It seems like she's going to be the next one. In relation to the first female president, 19 years later, she gets a job in the White House, Stacey Abrams. And how many of them total? So as it stands, she would be Secretary of the Treasury number 78.